Hey, Jupiter. What do you think we should talk about today? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so I just got back from my new school, and I'm really excited because I got all of the books that I will be teaching for the school year for both my freshmen and juniors. It's like Christmas in May. Let's check them out. Christmas came early this year. I have so many new things. So excited. We'll start with the freshmen. So we got this big old thing. I honestly forgot that textbooks were even like a thing because, you know, once you get into college and grad school and stuff, you kind of just stop with textbooks and you really, or at least in humanities and stuff, and then you just read actual books. So many books. But yes, we have a textbook. It'll be weird going back to that. Yeah. So in terms of little books, I can't quite say novels because we're going to read a play. We're starting out with The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I know I just butchered that. I'm so sorry for any Portuguese speakers for butchering that name. That tip-tapping in the background is also my dog. I can't get her to lay down. Anyway, The Alchemist, I haven't actually read it myself, but I've heard lots of good things. I know that it is kind of your typical coming-of-age novel. So that's what we're going to start the year off with. And then we will be reading Lord of the Flies by William Golding. And this is a really fun cover too. This is not the cover that I had when I read the book. I read it my 7th grade year. I honestly don't remember a ton about it other than it's kind of this dystopian stuff. And I just remember loving the book too. So hopefully students will get into it this year as well. The only things I remember are Piggy and what happens to Piggy. And I'm just going to stop there because just going to stop there. And then of course you have to read Romeo and Juliet. I read this my 8th grade year. Yeah, classic Shakespeare play. I am a little nervous in teaching this, especially in today's kind of society where we're seeing a lot of teen suicide. So I kind of have some reservations in that, especially because the teen suicide that happens in Romeo and Juliet, spoiler alert, is due to, you know, infatuation and heartbreak, right? And so when I first found out I was going to be teaching Romeo and Juliet, I spoke with my fiance kind of like, hey, here are my reservations. On one hand, I don't really want to give examples to teenagers about committing suicide because of a breakup. Not good things to be putting in young people's heads, you know? And then on the other hand, I thought, well, teen suicide is happening. Breakups, heartache, they are happening. So what better way to properly address them and to give teens better coping mechanisms than to read about it and see, this wasn't really the best way to handle that. So what are some better ways that we can address that? So still kind of about having to teach Romeo and Juliet, but I'm hoping that good will come out of it, obviously. And then on to our juniors, even bigger book. See, oh, big, fat. I don't see myself really carrying that thing along with me to school that often. But we will be reading these three. We're starting off the year with Into the Wild, which was also made into a movie in 2007, 2008, I think. Love-hate relationship with this story. If any of you are familiar with it, you know, this college graduate kind of gets rid of everything he owns and goes out on a great adventure.
Sounds great, right?
But yeah, lots and lots of mistakes along the way, which ultimately cost him his life in the Alaskan wild, you know? So it's a super fascinating story, and it's also easy to get thrown into the romanticism, you know, that Thoreau kind of Emerson stuff. But yeah, it is a very fascinating and fun story. So I first interacted with this story as an adult, so it will be interesting to see what my juniors think about that story. And then let's see, honestly, I don't know which one comes next, but we'll just say it's The Great Gatsby, yay! And somehow I am one of the only few people that made it out of my high school without having to read The Great Gatsby. It is by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Fun story is that my grandparents named one of their dogs after F. Scott Fitzgerald, and the dog went by Fitz for short. But yeah, I somehow got out of never having to read this novel. I've heard really mixed reviews, aka everyone when I was young always said that it was a terrible book. It was boring and slow and no fun. And then I heard the movie wasn't that great. But then I spoke with my co-teacher, and she said that her students love the book, have a great time with it, and then of course show movie clips and stuff. So hopefully I will like it, because if I like it, then I hope, teach it better and in an exciting way. But if the kids like it, I don't really care. Hopefully they'll like it. Last but not least, I'm so super pumped to teach this novel, because when I read it as a sophomore, man, was my life changed. It is The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. It's just powerful. It is just so powerful, and it takes place during the Vietnam War. And it's just one of those pieces that I really just couldn't put down. I found myself crying through it. I found myself wanting to just throw it out the window. I'm also a crier though. I kind of cry at any sort of emotion, whatever, who cares, right? But I'm so excited to get to reread this. I've reread it since my sophomore year, but to get to reread it in a classroom setting and hopefully have it really impact the lives of these students in the way that impacted me. So yeah, I'm super excited. So now the plan is to read all the books, obviously, and then create videos going over each of the books, explaining the lessons that I used, activities that I did, things that were successful, not successful, and stuff like that. So hopefully this is me putting it out there into the atmosphere, the good energy, that I will continue to make videos and document my first year. If I put it out there for the world to hear, hopefully that means I'll stick with it. Until next time, thanks so much for watching and tuning in to Teach with Sarah. I hope to see you soon. Bye.